Real 111T. A quick video for you today. We're going to take a look at this cook system that I built into this British respirator bag. It's kind of a picnic type system. It's bigger than what you might carry for backpacking, but not as big or bulky as something that you might take car camping. You know, a Coleman suitcase and a chuck box and a mess kit, a bunch of pots and pans and plates and cups and everything. This is designed to be a cook system that is small enough to carry around easily and big enough to be more capable than your average little backpacking kit. So let me spin this camera around here and we will take a look at what's in here. So here we have the kit. It's based, as I said, this is a British respirator bag, and this is the main compartment here, and then there's two additional side pouches. We'll get into what's in there. The main flap here has Velcro, heavy-duty Velcro on either side, and then there's a snap. There's actually two snaps, depending on how full it is. One of these two snaps will engage one of those. Okay, so here is, I guess that's an NSN number. And then another thing to note is there's this gusset here with the zipper. Now this isn't to increase the capacity of the bag, rather it is to make it easier to get the respirator or whatever else you have in here in and out. So I'm going to pull this out. This is a Trangia 25 cook system. Okay, and there's some other things we have in here. We've got some stainless steel scrubbers, okay, which are good to have. On the side here we've got various different kitchen implements that we will get into. Okay, and then, so why don't we do that? Why don't we take a look at the cook set first? So give me a second, I'm going to open this up so you don't have to sit. Okay, so here we have the contents of the main compartment all spread out here. Okay, we start out here with our two Trangia 25 pots. This is a duosol kit. I've really been getting into the Trangia pot sets a lot more lately, and I'm going to be playing with them a lot this summer, so you can count on seeing a lot more of this kit and a couple of my other Trangia kits going forward. So there's the two pots. Here is the upper and lower windscreen, and this is to show, in case you're wondering, if you have a 25, that if you want to stick with the whole stainless steel theme of a duosol, a cool thing to do is to substitute the GSI stainless steel tea kettle, because it works perfectly with the system. It's almost a one-for-one replacement. The lid's a little bit different than the Trangia one. Okay, here is the skillet, and then right here we have a gas burner, a Butane burner, and the spirit burner. That's a new spirit burner to this set because the old one was kind of beat up. And then here's a G-Works gas adapter. And then by way of cooking implements, we have the multi-disc 25 here with a Gonzo mini cleaver, which works great as a food prep knife. It's not quite a folding chef knife, but it's pretty close. And then this is a neat little stainless steel spatula that I found. If you have a non-stick kit, it might not be the best option because it is kind of sharp on the leading edge there, but it works great with the actual stainless steel ware, and it's going to be very durable. And then right here I have a utensil kit that I found on Amazon, which adds to the versatility of the kit in that it has a fork, spoon, and knife. And then very similar to the kit that comes with the Yugoslavian canteen, it's also got a can opener and a bottle opener on it. So that's useful. And then right here, I skipped over it because it almost blends right in. I have a set of the Emberlit Sprongs. Okay, so basically that should be a decent amount of sort of food preparation implements, and then also embedded in that are two sets of a fork and a spoon. I mean, there's one knife there. Well, I guess there's two knives, so two people could use this set and have a full set of cutlery. Also down here I have one of the dual use High Dragon steamer racks. That can be a steamer rack. Well, I guess it's triple use. It could be a baking rack, and it can also be a pan stand inside the upper windscreen. If you have questions about what I mean by that, look back a couple videos ago. I did a video on it. And what it does is it lets you run smaller diameter pots inside here. So basically, in order to work in a Trangia system, your pot has to span these 3 little tabs, okay? And this pot does it perfectly. But if I want to use something narrower, like an espresso maker or a percolator that was narrower than the 3 tabs, I could set this in there like this, and use that as a cooking surface. And that will work both with the gas burner and the alcohol burner. So that's a great little setup. Now there's the only thing that's left is to talk about the contents of the side pouches. So let's take a look at those now. So taking a look at the contents, basically on one side I have 2 of these 8-ounce Vargo bottles. Okay, they both fit down in there perfectly into one of those pouches, and you could slide a couple of other little things in there if you wanted to, but that's just about exactly what it holds. On the other side I have one of these butane cans, which with that adapter that I showed, I can run the butane stove adapter off of the food service fuel. So for 3-season use, which really probably is the scope of this kit, that will work fine. I won't have any problems. If I get into really cold temperatures, this fuel probably will not be the ideal fuel to use. Additionally, I have a that's a soda bottle preform. If you look for soda bottle preforms on Amazon, you'll find a bunch of those. And what that is it's full of Dawn dish soap. Okay, so between the scrubbies and that, and the fact that they're stainless steel pans, you can pretty much deal with anything as long as you have a little bit of water. And then lastly, I've got a ferro rod and one of those little card tools that I reviewed last year. That's good for scraping the ferro rod. The lanyard on that ferro rod is some of that fire cord or whatever that you get at Walmart. So it's a little fire kit right there. Between those 3 items is a little sort of mini fire kit with tinder and the striker and the spark. So basically the philosophy of this kit, it's not for backpacking. It's something that I'm going to be looking at more this summer. I've started referring to it as a picnic kit. Okay, so something that's a lot more capable than a compact, lightweight backpacking set that you have to make sacrifices for in terms of what your menu items are. You still have to make some sacrifices with this, but you could take this to the park or to the beach, similar to the base camp in a bag kit, but this does have a couple more amenities in terms of the built-in cutting board and some of the other little utensils that I threw in there. So let's get this all packed up and we'll talk a little bit more about philosophy of use. Hang on. So let's take a look and see exactly how this goes together. You see up here, we've got, let me see if I can turn it, the Sprongs and the utensils. There's a couple of slots that go down the side. There's a longer side and then there's a shorter side. So the folding spatula and knife go in there pretty well. As I said before, I've got my scrubbies down there. I've got my gusset all opened up. I've got my Trangia here. I just slide that in there like so. I could tighten that up if I wanted to. And then pull the gusset shut. And then there's these flaps on the top here, which are kind of hard to see, but like that. And that should keep most dust and dirt out of here, which was a concern. I'm sure, for the respirators. Now in the side pouches, you can see those 2 alcohol bottles fit in there perfectly. This side, it's a little less perfect with the butane can, but also I've got down there, kind of hard to see, the dish soap. So as I said, a picnic kit is what we're going to call this. All right, and basically, you know, in the last few years, you've seen backpacking equipment go towards the ever lighter and more compact, okay, to the point where, you know, I mean, a lot of people, when they go out, their goal is very, very simple fare, you know, stuff they have to boil water for, and that's it. So this is something a little bit more advanced than that. You know, I remember when I first got into backpacking, a 2-pot setup, that's pretty much what the outdoor stores sold as their smallest setup. You know, like MSR Blacklight or Duralight or Alpine 2. And people carried those. But really that sort of cook set is more along these lines. And now things have gotten a lot more compact to the point where things that would just have been mugs before are your primary pot. So you make sacrifices when you have a setup like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it if that's the style of camping you're doing. As for myself, let me explain a little bit how I get to this point. You know, my wife and I have had a couple kids in the last 5 years, 3 of them to be exact, and so I have not really been backpacking. I've been doing more car camping, and so I have a fairly extensive car camping chuck box, and, you know, carry a Coleman suitcase, as I said, and a big full deal car camping setup that I could just throw in the back of the car. But it's large, and sometimes, you know, if I want to just jet out, if I suddenly had a day off during the week and I want to do an overnight real quick, you know, one of the things that might deter me is I might not want to go down to the basement, haul this stuff out. This way, a couple sleeping bags, a tent, this, and I can just head to the store, buy some food, and be ready to go. Another great thing about this is it's more versatile as an emergency kit than one of those very compact kits. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have a bug out bag or a compact emergency kit, a get home bag, you know, a small compact kit might be what you're looking for. But for something to just sort of keep in the car, as I said with the base camp in a bag kit, something I could keep in the car with the alcohol, and then if suddenly I was going to have an impromptu trip that I was going to go on, I could just go, if I went to, say, the Big W store, I could pick up, you know, a cooler full of perishables, and, you know, a small bag of non-perishables, and swing by a camping section, and I could pick up either the camping butane, or if it was nice weather, I could pick up one of these food service butanes, which is a lot cheaper, and also stows better in this kit. I would never keep this in my vehicle in summer months with the butane in here. I would be really afraid. You know, there is an explosion hazard, or at the very least a leaking hazard, if it gets subjected to super high temperatures. So be wary of that. And that doesn't just cover these. It's basically any liquefied gas, from this all the way up to the 1 pound propane cans and the little round camping ones in between, you know. So don't mess around with that. But if you decide to go with those for camping, you know, basically the rule of thumb with those is, as long as you keep them with you, you're good. So even if it's a hot day, think about it. When you're driving to your location, you're going to have your air conditioner on. You're going to be regulating the temperature to your comfort level, and they're perfectly safe at your comfort level. It's when you close the doors and it's 90 degrees out and it gets to be 150 degrees in your car, that's where you have problems. So yeah, basically this is going to be the summer of Trangia, I think, for me, because I'm really going to try, whenever I'm car camping, to go with these lightweight sets. Now, the other thing about it is it's scalable. I might go with this, or I might go 2 of them, or I might mix and match. You know, I could bring this, and I could bring one of the base camp in a bag kits, or a second Trangia, and have a lot more flexibility in terms of how many things I can be doing at once. You know, there's a whole lot more flexibility you get when you talk about having a Coleman suitcase. Just having 2 burners, you know, you can do things at the same time the way you would at home, instead of having to do them sequentially. So, but with a system like this, if you were car camping, you could have 2 of them and set them up, you know, on a picnic table or something right next to each other and sort of simulate having a 2-burner stove. With the base camp and a bag kit, you could use both burners at the same time. With this one, you pretty much have to have the lower windscreen to hold the boolean burner, so that is a little bit less flexible in that respect. And then the other use that I was thinking for something like this would be for road trips. Okay, if you were road tripping and you're going to stay at hotels sometimes and stay at like a KOA or a campground other times, it would be good to have something like this, 1 or 2 of these, because they're very compact in the car, where you might have a lot of other travel gear with you that you could throw in there and then just be ready to go, and open that up at your campsite and prepare food. Save tons and tons of money that way, as opposed to eating out every single night on say a cross-country trip, which may be in my future sometime soon. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. It's been a little bit of a long one, I guess, as far as what I usually put out. Let me know what you think. Have I left anything egregiously out that you would think I should put in there? Are there things in here that you think, yeah, I absolutely don't need? The thing about this, though, is this is not a minimalist kit. This is not a kit for someone who cuts their toothbrush in half. You know, I don't have a weight on this, but I mean, as far as current backpacking MO is, this is way too heavy for backpacking. Maybe canoe camping, if you're someone who has a trip with limited portages, who could make a couple of short trips. You know, you might be carrying heavier gear. This would be perfect. 1 or 2 of these would be perfect. So, all right, yep, let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for watching. Hey guys, one more thing. Well, 2 more things. Sorry about that. I was thinking of stuff that's going to be added to this, and one of them is going to be some kind of chamois or camp towel. You know, I could see that's going to be the first thing. But one thing I want to show you guys that I forgot that I brought with me specifically for showing you is that this does also carry the camping canisters. So if we open this up, you can see there's enough room in there for everything you've already seen, plus 2 of the 8-ounce cans. And we probably could fit 2 of the food service cans in here as well, right up on top here. But that it closes up, the Velcro engages, and it snaps. So that's quite a bit of cooking capability right there. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. One day I was driving along here, going through to our office, and I came upon an older couple driving rented bicycles. And, you know, it's windy road, you can't really see, it's double yellow lines, and, you know, you don't want someone, like, shooting out at you and getting into a collision. So I had to follow this older couple. They didn't look back at me once, but they knew I was there. And, eventually I got to a straightaway along here, and I went around them. And then there was another curve, and I went around the curve, and there was a black bear sitting right in the middle of this road, sitting there in the sunlight, sunning himself. One of the greatest regrets of my life is that I wasn't a little bit more patient with that older couple.